All right, yo, what's going on, everybody? I don't know what's going on with the computer. I'm having major technical difficulties today. Yo, what's going on, everybody? I'm having a horrible day with technology. Let's see if we get this all sorted. How are you? Let's see. Come on, technology. Can we get it to work? It's going to be one of those days where nothing works. I was ready. I was absolutely ready to be here. Oh my goodness. I'm here. Guys, I'm here. But like the computer is fighting me. The computer is literally fighting me. Not literally, but like it's not hitting me. It's not like that. What is it? That heartburn commercial? But like the computer is fighting me. What is going on? Why is it doing this? This is driving me insane. This is driving me insane. All right, guys. I'm here. I think it's here. I think we're doing all right. I think we got it. Do we get it? I think we got it. All right. What's going on, everybody? It's 1:06, and I've been fighting this computer for the last 7 minutes because even though I've been sitting here at this computer table, well, this dinner table, I've been here for like the last 10 minutes, just waiting for a live stream to start, getting it ready, and then, oh, that's good. I needed the hug. Thank you. Can mommy get you chocolate milk? Mm-hmm. Okay, go talk to mommy. Okay. I've been sitting here getting ready and just like scouring stuff on the internet, answering some emails, waiting for 1 o'clock. And then it's like 12:59. I'm like, oh, okay, let's get ready. Click over. Everything's all set. I just need to hit like start the broadcast. And as I'm about to press it, Windows takes updates. Like it went to blue screen, like pause while we install updates. And then it restarted the computer and then it did the thing. And then it restarted again. And then it did like the, percentage complete. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. And then when I come back, I can start using some stuff and then the computer's not like working. I thought that it blew away drivers for this camera. So I was like starting to get pretty annoyed about that. But we're here. And I mean, when I was like 3 minutes ago, when I was in a slightly better mood about it, I was like, we made it to Friday. We made it to the end of the week. Although the week is just definitely trying to like, hold us back a little bit longer by fighting me with all these like forced updates that I didn't want to take it now. I very clearly was using, it's not like the computer was just sitting around. I was using it. I was clicking stuff and I don't know. But we're here. I've got my afternoon coffee. I got a late start. Thank you for humoring me as I ranted about something as lame as computer updates. I mean, yeah. That, I don't know. I apologize, guys. Thank you guys, though, for sticking around. And thank everyone for listening in on the podcast version. Hope you guys are doing well and having a better start to the live stream than I am. Hopefully you're out there on a great run on a beautiful day and just enjoying the weather. We have some fantastic weather here in Chicago. Just absolutely beautiful. It's a lot warmer than it was supposed to be, and it's just absolutely perfect weather. And everyone watching this on YouTube after the fact, hopefully you're not watching this on YouTube after the fact because of a Windows update. Hopefully it's because you had other better things to do or different things that you had to do, and now you're able to sit back and relax and enjoy. So welcome, everybody. All right, let's see. I'm going to skip through some of the early chat just because, a lot of you guys were giving me support for fighting the computer and the technology issues that I was having. But yeah. All right, Leona's here. She says you got to go, but I know Cole will figure it out. We got it eventually. And Pete G1980 says, should I buy the Clifton 9? I have the Clifton 8. That's what I ran in today for the first time. And I mean, I have my thoughts on it. I mean, I think other people have mentioned kind of similar is like, if you're a Clifton fan, like if you like the Clifton 7 and want more of the same, I would say get it. You know, but I think for like a lot of shoes this year, I don't know if it's like, you know, with everything that happened last year with the pandemic or whatever, a lot of, or it was just part of the natural cycle anyway. But a lot of the updates this year seem to be across brands, seem to be, if you like last year's version and you need a new pair of shoes now, you know, get a discounted version of the shoe now, and then you can get the update later on in the summer. So I think that's probably where I'm going to end up on it. I'm not sure, but like, you know, some subtle changes, and I like it more than the 8. So, you know, there's that. But I'll talk more about it in much more detail for tomorrow's video. That's what tomorrow's video will be about. But like, you know, I think it comes out in a couple of weeks, like June, maybe June 1. I think that's when it came out. I think that's usually when they try to slate the Clifton to come out in June, like June 1, or in that area. So it'll be coming out soon. But like, if you really want the next one, or because you were excited about the last one, yeah, it's a buy. I would say. All right. Sarah Mim says, PTSD witnessing this. I used to work in IT. Yeah. Yeah. I was just thinking about like, this used to be my work computer, and that was like not mission critical, but like, you know, in a lot of senses, like when things didn't work exactly right, I got yelled at a lot. So I was just like, I'm really glad that it happened now, where you guys are very patient and understanding. Whereas, you know, my client work that I'd be doing this kind of stuff for would not be typically. So yeah. All right. I'm here. Oh yeah. Suan says, oh, hug. So nice. Yeah. The baby's hug. She always knows. She, you know, she has the, you know, the emotional intelligence, a lot of times of like a great dog. Not to say that my baby's like a dog, but like, you know how sometimes dogs just know when you need a little bit of help. The baby knows. She's much, whereas me, on the other hand, like I'm just like completely oblivious. I'm really bad with that kind of thing. To a lot, I'm emotionally closed off in a lot of ways, I think. So, you know, she definitely doesn't get that from me, but I'm glad she's around. All right. Yeah. Let's see. Chris Shaw said, really enjoyed your video today. Picked up a pair of Lone Peak 4.5 on clearance rack and really enjoying them. Awesome. Really cool, Chris. Thanks for saying that. You know, today's video ended up being a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be, because I was just like, yeah, I did like 2 workout videos in a row. It's going to be kind of boring. But then, like, you know, as I was shooting the footage, I was like, I'm having a lot of fun out here. And then as I was putting it together, I just done like, I periodically go to Epidemic Sound, which is like the music service that I use. And I'll just download a bunch of music at once. And I just downloaded a batch of music yesterday, and it just turned out that like 3 or 4 songs just like really worked and it fit. And I was like, oh, this is nice. And it's nice when it all comes together. And so I just had a really good time making the video, editing the video. And I don't rewatch like a lot of the videos. I mean, because I've lived it and I spent hours on it, you know, but this one I rewatched a couple of times because I was like, I like this one. I like it. This is good. I'm glad you guys are liking it too. Mark Salzman says, are sneakers holding their prices? Or are you seeing a giant increase on the pricing coming soon? I mean, prices have been creeping up steadily. I mean, more than creeping, I would say. Pretty steadily over the last couple of years. So, yeah, I think that they're all going to get a little bit more expensive. Although, frankly, like, think about it. We had the Velocity Flow Win, which came in at 160. You know, I think shoes like the Turbo really like opened like the brand's eyes. So like, oh, people will pay $180 for a daily trainer. I see. You know, so then it was like, oh no. You know, you let the genie out of the bottle on that one. Because for a while, I mean, do you guys remember like when Ginger Runner would be like, I don't know, they're asking $120 for this shoe. $120, and he would get like a little bit like, when people ask $120 for a shoe, there's a lot of expectations that come with that. And now like all like the flagship like trail running shoes are a lot more than $120. A lot of even like daily trainers are coming in at more than $120. So I think that shoe prices are going up, whether we want them to or not. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Like, does that mean that other shoes like the Axon or like the Windflow all of a sudden are they going to start seeing more growth in those categories? Or are they going to continually leave it as like, we'll price the new versions at a little bit more than people want to pay. And then we'll still make enough that there's old versions or last year's versions still left over that will discount, but we'll still make more than we would normally make on like kind of end of like shoe year shoe. You know what I mean? So I feel like I feel like they're going to go up. I feel like they're going to go up. Vaged to AJ. I think that's what that says. It says today I paid $50 for daily trainers. There you go. There's some deals out there. The SL20s that we love can be found at some pretty cheap prices. But yeah, I mean, you gotta look. You definitely gotta look. Ev Sakai says, just a general ballpark question. If my training map is 135 heart rate, what would my marathon heart rate be? Is it the same or is it 10 beats higher? 5 days into my map journey and loving it. Keep the videos flowing. No, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be 135. Again, I think it's going to vary a little bit. I don't think there's a rule, which is one of the other really like big ways where I feel like Maffetone to me is not so much like a running plan, is more of a reset plan. But as I spend more time with it, but I would think that if you're at 135, I would kind of start and see where you are at kind of like 150 for a marathon, maybe 155. But I think the other way to look at it is to figure out like what your threshold heart rate is, and then dial it back about 5 beats or maybe a little bit more from there. And so your threshold, that's an important kind of like, just like the MAF number is an important like physiological kind of like hump in like a turning point in the slope of kind of like your oxygen consumption. Your threshold also is another like really important spot as well. And that's the pace that you can run or like the heart rate at which you're running, you can race for 40 to 60 minutes. So basically, if you have a 10K or a half marathon effort, it'd be kind of like somewhere in between there. And that's where your threshold number is. And I think that's an important number to kind of figure out. So that way you can do a lot of training, because a lot of training, once you do start putting speed work back in there as you're getting race specific, that's where the threshold number starts to get really important. And so like I figured out my threshold heart rate, and it changes as you get stronger too, a little bit, but like because I ran a marathon and then ended up hitting the wall, and I realized that like, oh, I managed this one heart rate for an hour, and then after that I was basically felt like my legs had nothing left. And so, and I was just like zombie crawling the rest of the way back to the finish line. And so that's kind of how I figure out what mine is. Mine's about 173. So my marathon heart rate is usually somewhere, what I shoot for is, 160 in the earlier portions and 165 towards the later portions, with the idea that like, certain surges, I might get up to 170 for short, brief moments of time. So that's kind of how I look at it. And then, everyone I think is going to get dialed in a little bit different. So that's kind of how it goes. All right. And it says he got his Carbon X2s for 140 pounds, $197. A good price, I thought. That is a good price. I mean, I think the $200 price point is about what it's supposed to be for the US, right? Am I right on that? All right. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's a good number in the sense that like, it's not 250. Right. I feel like once you get like above like the 160, 175 number, I'm like, that's all kind of like really strange. And like, I'm not sure what's fair, anymore. It's really hard to figure out the pricing and the value proposition. And at that point, it's like, is it worth the money? Yeah, probably. Is it a good buy? Is it a value? That's a different question. And I think that's a little bit more individualized. And Brendan says, "Oh, hey, how's it going? Shoe prices are going insane. Very tough on the bank account." This coming from, well, I guess maybe he knows what I was saying, that Brendan did tweet out that he got what, the Next Percent 2 and the Rebel 2s coming on the same day. So, I mean, I guess maybe you know all too well, right? Hey. All right. Rozzy Guy says, best 5K workouts in your opinion? I don't have a lot of great 5K workouts. I would probably defer to, I really like Jack Daniel's approach for shorter distance racing, especially like the 5K. And he has a lot of different workouts that involve like 200s and 400s and then back to 200s again at different paces and rests. But one that I generally end up doing a lot when I'm going from like, I haven't been doing any race specific training to like, I'd like to get on the track and just kind of like start, is I just like to do 800s. And so then it'll be 5 800s. And then the sixth one will be 1,000. So that way you're doing 5,000 meters of running. And I do it at 5K goal race pace with a 100 meter jog in between. I don't know if that's a great workout, but that's one that I've done a lot and it's actually worked. For me, it's both mental and physical. So I like that one. Chris Larson says, when you do plyometrics type activities, do you have a preference for what shoe you wear? I usually have been throwing it at the end of my run just for a convenience sake. Because I feel like if I'm going to have to like, all right, I need to like block off some more time during the day to go back outside and do some of these plyometrics, I won't do them. And so what I've been doing is there's a little spot that has a couple of boxes, like pedestals that I use as the box for the box jump. And I will do stuff from there. And then I'll do some of my hops and skips and stuff the remainder of the way home, or part of the remainder of the way home. And I've done them in a variety of shoes. The one that worked the least well was doing them in the Invincible, because they were just so bouncy. And so like it was hard to like land and try to be stable when like you would bounce and it would kind of like shake you all over the place. And so that one wasn't great. Trying to think of what other ones that I did them in. Did I do them in I think I did them in the Nova Blast. That was fine. Done them in the Mach 4s. I think that was fine. Beacons, I think. So I've done it in a variety of shoes, and it doesn't matter too much to me. But I think if I were to do like a more like, like a morning run and then an afternoon like gym plyo session, I might look at like either like a gym shoe, like a Metcon type of shoe, something meant for a little bit more lateral stability, or whatever running shoe I had that had low stack height. Just because if you're moving side to side, you don't really want super tall and super squishy shoes. All right. Yeah. Peter Tan says, any quick way to test if a running shoe is worn out or not? No, I don't think so. I mean, I think you have to kind of run in it. I mean, if it's a clear case, I mean, you can put them on, you'd be like, I'm not gonna run this. You'll just feel it, you'll know. But like, the way that I generally tell is, and here's the one thing. I mean, if the rubber is really worn out in just a lot of places and you're seeing like bald cushion, that to me is probably a good sign, because the rubber generally these days with modern foams, I think lasts longer than the cushion does. Right. So unless you're spending all your time running on like soft surface, like dirt roads, like a gravel track or something like that, if the rubber is gone, you should probably replace it. That means you probably should have replaced it a long time ago, because the cushion's going to go first for the most part. And so let's say you've got a shoe, the rubber looks good, but you're not sure if the shoe's worn out. The way that I would tell is like, if you're on like kind of an average week and all of a sudden like, oh, my ankle kind of is tender a little bit for no reason. I didn't twist it. I didn't hurt it. But all of a sudden like, oh, this part of my foot hurts. That to me is kind of those are your body's way of telling you like, hey, something's not working the way it normally does, and you got to take care of it. Or like, let's say all of a sudden, oh, like my hip feels kind of funny. What's that all about? It's not like I'm in the middle of a training block. So what's that? So that's kind of like the ways that I understand it. That's how my body knows. The other, I mean, I use a general rule. Like once I'm at 250 to 275, then I start thinking, all right, now it's time to do some research and figure out what my next shoe is going to be. Because by the time I like do research, buy one, have it shipped to me, that shoe will probably be ready. So that's kind of like how I do it. All right. Richard Brown says, tips or tricks on first marathon training schedule? Yeah, I would say like go get a plan of some sort. Oh, see, the technology is fighting me some more. I would say go try and find a plan. Hal Higdon has free plans. There's lots of other places that have free plans that are available. And I mean, my tips would be focus on the week, not any single day, And so like, if there's a plan where it's like, every single day is accounted for and it's very difficult to kind of move things around and reschedule, that's probably not a great fit for like your first marathon. Because if it's your first marathon, the main thing that you want to do is get your body acclimated to the mileage and the amount of time you're going to need to be on your feet. And so like a ton of structured workouts in my mind is not really necessary for first marathon. I mean, it depends. Richard, I don't know your running background, but if you're coming off of like D1, 10K racing, and you're like, now how do I do my first marathon? I want to really nail my debut. That's a different story. But like, I think for most people, that's not the case. It's not the case for me at all. And so like just something that's like, gradually increasing the mileage and making sure that I get to the starting line in one piece. I think those are really important things. It's better to like, maybe I didn't have the longest runs or the highest mileage weeks, but I feel good today. That's a great way to show up, So I think that's a good way to do it. All right. What do we got here? We got someone from, things just jumped on me again. Roddy McGowan says, do you think something like the Vaporfly Next Percent 2 is a good shoe for slow runners at half or full marathons, 10-minute miles? I mean, yes, but at 10-minute miles, like then one of the things that you think about is not that will it make you more efficient of a runner and give you those same benefits? It will. But the other thing to think about at the same time, and if you want to wear it, awesome, go for it. Your money, your feet, go do it. If you've put in the training and you've done not that you have to earn it or anything, but like, there's things that you could do in the weeks and months before the marathon. You've done your prep to the best that you could. And now it's time to like, you're tapering and like, you're thinking like, what are the last minute things that not last minute, but like, what are the remaining things that I can control to, increase my chances of success, and you pick up a pair of those. Great. The other thing to consider though, like, I don't know how far you are from like your marathon or your half, or if you're just thinking about it generally. The other way to think about it is if you're going to be spending a really long time on feet, comfort may be more important than efficiency. So that's another thing to consider. And so I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I think it's a great idea, but there are other considerations as well. So for example, like I have a 50K coming up, my first trail race or like official trail race. And it'll be my first long distance run in like, some significant elevation changes for me. And it's not significant to other people, but for me, it's a lot. And I'm anticipating spending a long amount of time out there in some hot weather. And so I was thinking about, do I bring a more aggressive, like carbon plated trail shoe, or should I bring something that's a little bit more comfortable? I'm leaning more towards comfort because I'd rather be comfortable, and I'm not trying to go out there and like win the race or podium or anything like that. Because I think this race is actually going to get pretty big. There's like 60 or 70 entrants so far already for the 50K. So I don't know how many people are going to be out there for the 25K, and I think there's a 10K as well. But I'm just going to go out there and try to have a good time. And so I'm going to try. I'm looking at the shoe that's got lots of cushion, lots of room in the toe box. So that's kind of like, there's two ways to kind of look at it. So, but yeah, it is a good shoe, but it's not the only thing to consider. All right. Monstier Allah says, did you like the Clip Nate? Yeah, I like it a lot. Mark says, the new sandals they sell for foot recovery, do they work? Have you tried them? Well, they're not new. Sorry. I don't know how dog hair always ends up right at the end of the microphone. And so I'm like, as I'm looking at it, it's right in my face. Yeah, I've had a variety of, I've tried OOFOS. And then I've just had, I've tried a whole bunch of different slides before. I'll tell you the ones that I like the least. are the Nike slides. The Benassi, those ones, they're terrible. They're just really, really bad. I'd rather be in Old Navy flip flops, the dollar ones, than those. They're just not comfortable. And the ones that I do like are UFOs. They're super ugly, but I like them. They're so comfortable. They're so comfortable that my wife would take them, and then she kept taking them, and so I get mad at her. So she finally bought, like, she actually has 2 pair of her own. She can never find hers though. Mine are always at the door because I'm a good Asian guy, I guess. And so she still takes mine. But I like the OOFOS. I haven't tried the what is it? The Hoka ones. The Hoka slides remind me of the outsole of the Alpha Fly outsole reminds me of the Hoka slides. They just look weird, but I'm sure they're super comfortable. Jay Pelicans here says, yo, checking in late. What's going on, Jay? Good to see you. I love that avatar. Steven Gersdorf says, as far as dead cushioning goes, it's okay for him as long as it's evenly dead. What I don't like is when the foam breaks down unevenly, so the footbed is tilted, slanted, or deformed. Yeah, see, I've never had that. I've never had the cushioning die evenly because my foot hits kind of on the side. Well, like, yeah, my foot kicks out a little bit. So like mine in the back heel, it kind of like sits back. Kind of like if the car is a little bit older and the back suspension is just shot, that's kind of like how my shoes end up looking and feeling. Yeah. Rami Johanna says, apparently Lollapalooza is happening this year, which makes me hopeful that the Chicago Marathon will take place. Are you registered for the Chicago Marathon? I am. I'm very excited for Chicago Marathon. I feel like the odds are pretty good. I think starting today, Illinois enters a bridge period. And so the bridge period is between phase 4 and phase 5, with phase 5, which is the final phase, like back to normal phase, I think. Maybe just some minor restrictions on some very, very big events, which would be Chicago Marathon, I think. We have to hold at current levels of hospitalizations and positivity rate, I think, for 2 weeks. If we do that, then lots more things open, and that can be about, they think by June things will be like pretty much back to not normal, but things will be pretty normal, I think. So yeah, Lollapalooza is, that's a day that I just avoid going outside. It's a strange day, or weekend, right? It's a weekend long activity. But yeah, I mean, like, festivals are coming back. I think Taste of Chicago is coming back too, which, yeah, that also, I mean, all these things make me nervous because there's just so many people. But at least with Taste of Chicago, people don't tend to travel from too far away to come. Lollapalooza, there's a little bit more of a draw from other places. So that'll be a big test, I think. So yeah. But I'm very excited for Chicago. My running buddy's also registered for Chicago. We're going to get together for another run tomorrow. I'm super excited. And we're going to talk a little bit more about, like, for him, what his goals are. We just end up chatting so much though. So like, we're like, yeah, we got to talk about what we're going to do for Chicago. But we just said, we're just catching up. So we end up forgetting. We're just chit-chatting away and having a good time. Then we forget to talk about it. So we're like, oh, we'll have to run again next week. Talk about it next week. Brendan says, I just bought my girlfriend a pair of the Hoka recovery slides. And he says, I've been wearing mine for like a year straight. Love them. Yeah, I think Seth was the first person that I ever saw with them on. And I'm like, those things look ridiculous. And I was like, well, I'm saying that while I'm wearing UFOs. So maybe not that ridiculous. All right. We got a super chat coming in from Alexander Dean. Thanks so much, Alex. Says, I don't come in often, but I always try to listen when I can. He's working at Panda Express. Awesome. Panda Express is one of my favorite fast food restaurants, I got to say. But you know what? I feel like they don't make like the stir-fried vegetables enough. There's just like a vegetarian dish. I don't know, you're probably not in charge of that, Alex, but I'm just saying. But anyway, I love Panda Express. I'm graduating from high school soon, and thank you for the streams. Well, thanks so much, Alex. Congratulations. Let's get a cowbell for graduating high school. What a milestone. Awesome. Great work. And yeah, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Yeah, that means a lot to me, Alex. Thanks. Thank you. Steven says, Kofuzi, what drone do you use to record? I have a DJI Spark. I'm actually thinking about a couple of things lately. I've been thinking about upgrading the drone because I feel like now there's some drones that are just as small that have 120 FPS, which, you know, I love the slow motion. You don't need it as much with the drone, but I do feel like I could use it. Yeah, so I'm thinking about that, but I'm also like, are we still at the point where I need to like get a license to fly that thing for commercial use? And is YouTube still considered a commercial use? Like I just don't like, once I like start thinking about like, there's regulations, it just makes my my eyes roll, and I'm just like, I don't want to. I'd rather not deal with it. Like I feel like if there's ever a thing that I'd be like, yes, let's get some lobbyists in there and make some change. Like normally I'm like, lobbyists, that's a bad idea. But when we're talking about drones, I'm like, man, let's get some lobbyists in there. We got to get these regulations changed because it's ridiculous. But anyway, that's just a big digression. But yeah, I might get another one. But I have because it's getting nicer weather now, and I feel like I could actually run with one again. But I haven't. I flew the drone maybe once in the last like 2 years, maybe. I don't know. Gary S says, what's your budget pick for running shoes for a new runner? Typically I would say go and look for like discounted versions of last year's shoes. So I would say look for Nova Blast 1. I think that those are on sale now. I would look at Pegasus 37. I would look at Clifton 7. I think those just started getting marked down a little bit. So like those are like probably 3 that I would really look at quite a bit. Other ones that I would look at, like the Kinvara 11. If you can still find Kinvara 11, that might be a really good one as well. I like the 11 a lot, and that for a new runner, I think that would be a good one. Critical Thinker says, hey, Mike, how do you feel about Tracksmith shorts? Looking at the Session and the Falmouth. I don't know the names of them. The shorts, like the regular shorts, don't really have pockets. That's the thing I don't like about them. That's the thing I don't like about, I think you could say that about all Tracksmith stuff. The pockets need more thinking. I know they're going for an aesthetic, and I think you could used to say that they were going for more like people that used to run college track, and so they're not worried about people finding places to put their gels or their stroop waffles on a long run, you know? But I don't think that's the case anymore. So I feel like it's unacceptable that they still don't have pants with good pockets. But I have half tights. I don't know which ones those are, but I love the half tights. They have a liner. They're super comfortable. The pockets stink, but you know, and those are the days where I'm like, well, I guess I can only use it for a shorter run day, or I have to bring like a flip belt or a pack, you know. But otherwise, I like the half tights that I have. Josh Greenberg says, all right. Oh, we haven't heard from Josh all week. Hey, I'm in the most important part of the season, but my shin splints on the right leg has gotten so bad that I'm pretty sure it's fractured. What can I do to just get through the season? Josh, first, how did the mile, like it was a time trial, the race? How did that go? We need to hear about that. Yeah, everyone was asking on Tuesday. I don't know. I don't think we've seen you since before the race on Monday, but we need to hear about it. But also, yeah. So if your shin splints are really bad, you're pretty sure it's fractured, I'd say back off, because if you keep going at that point, you're going to be in big trouble. You know, you're not only you're jeopardizing like next season, if you think about it that way. You know what I mean? Like, so like if you think it's fractured, then you got to get that checked out. But if it's just a stress fracture and you're just trying to survive, I'm not a medical professional, and I'll reiterate again after I say what I'm about to say, that you should probably get that checked out by a medical professional. Is if your shin splints are really bad and you're just trying to get through it, ice and Advil. And then I like heat before. So I like heat before, ice and Advil after. Some people say ice doesn't do anything for you, or it may even hinder the inflammatory process, which is part of healing, which, you know, they're right. But like, you're talking about getting through the day. So the ice numbs the pain, takes some of the edge off. So it's not great advice for your long-term health, and I think you should get it checked out by a professional, but that's what I have done in the past when I was about your age. All right. Rami Johanna says the drone that Seth uses is very cool. Yeah, I forget which. Does he have a Mavic 1? Has he upgraded from that Mavic 1? I'm sure he has at this point. But yeah, I've been, I wonder if Seth is FAA certified or what he's doing for it. Or if he cares. I'm not sure. Yeah. I don't know if he's near like airports and stuff. Cause like I know like we're like there's like different classes of airspace and like there's this okay. There's areas like the baby right now is watching some Okie Dokie or something like that. Don Quixote. It's a new like puppet show. And she really likes it. And right now she's holding my GoPro with her selfie stick at it. I don't know. I think she thinks that that's what one is supposed to do when you see something you like, because she's seen me do that. So I think it's amazing. She's doing it with a lot of patience and using up like half a memory card. But anyway, cool. Good job. But yeah, so like there's different classes of airspace. One is like around an airport, like just imagine there's like a giant cylinder over it. You can't go like within that airspace. But as you get further out, there's different classes and you can't be above like certain heights, because if think about like the way an airplane would come into an airport, right? So like anywhere in Chicago is technically in one of those like secondary other classes of airspace, and airspace that I don't think any drone that I would spend money on, could fly. But like just knowing that kind of stuff. And then also because I'm by the lake in Chicago, in the mornings, the news helicopters are always around because they want to get that sunrise shot, or they want to get the shot of the city or Lakeshore Drive and show what the traffic's like. So like, yeah, there's just a lot. It's very busy here. So like that, it's just always headaches. It's always headaches. And I'm always like, it's not always worth it. But I might have some adventures coming up that I think that it'll be fun to have a drone that I wouldn't have to worry about airports. So, I'm thinking about it again. All right. Let's see. Rami Johanna says, Path Project shorts have a few pockets. Thinking about giving them a try. I think they have the most pockets, generally. They have the best pockets. In my opinion, they're the best pockets. Really, really good pockets. I love them. So many pockets. There's the one, it's like the Sykes 7-inch, which is my go-to like summer dad short / running short. 7's a little bit long for the summer, but like it's my go-to like short. That thing's got like 6-7 pockets or something like that. It's insane. Amazing. I love it. All right. Let's see. Paul R says, my upcoming half marathon is predicting warm weather, so my time won't be great. Should I just wear my cushion shoes instead of something speedier? I would say, no. I would say go with the speedier shoes. Yeah, because especially if it's really, really hot and you're just like sweat is draining into your shoe, that like the more cushion shoe might feel a little bit heavy. So I would go with the speedier shoe. I think you'll be fine with that. Steven says, Kofuzi, have you tried the Gouche, aka fascia scraping? I've seen it. It looks so weird whenever I see it in like Instagram ads, which is where I am most impressionable. So, but it strikes me as one of those tools that I'm gonna hurt myself if I use that thing, because I'm just gonna get in somewhere and be like, oh, that kind of hurts, but it's a good hurt, so I'll keep doing it. And then the next thing I know, the next day I'll be like, oh, I've just caused a tendon tear. Great. That's kind of how I feel. I know I probably can't do that, but that's just kind of how I feel. So I'm like, if I need something like that, I'll go somewhere where someone that knows what they're doing can do it. And I won't do that to myself because I don't trust myself, Yeah. Steven says Seth uses a DJI. Is it the Mavic Mini? Okay. The one that folds up, right? That's like has legs that like slide in, right? And Tony says Seth has a Skydio too. Is that the one that I saw DC Rainmaker made a video about it, and it was like a 25-mile-per-hour windy day, and he was just getting like bathed by waves on some sort of like pier that he was on a bike. Is that the same one? I don't know. I haven't looked at like a single drone in at least 2 years. And so like I'm so far behind on like drone technology. I kind of, for a while, I was like half joking that like until we get to the point where I can pull a drone out of my pack and just throw it up in the air and it'll know what to do because of the AI and stuff, I'm not interested. And I'm kind of still halfway jokingly there because I'm just like, if I gotta stop, take it out, have it get a GPS lock, and then like do the DJI sound, and then get it up in the air, and then make sure it's active tracking me, and then I can run. That's just a lot. It's a lot. And then like the battery thing, it's like the battery is so precious that I'm like, the battery's so precious and it takes so long to get it up in the air. Then I'm like, well, now I got to take a 15-minute hiatus from my run and get a whole bunch of shots of me running. And that just is like, it's a lot of work. You know, the 360 camera gives me a lot of what I already want, although the resolution leaves a lot to be desired. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. I'll look at what DJI had. I feel like I just saw some announcements maybe a couple months ago, maybe. And then Skydio. I'm not familiar with them at all. Ian Becker also confirming that SJD has a Skydio too. All right. Josh Greenberg wants to know where in New Jersey, where am I from? I grew up, we moved around a lot when I was growing up. So like my youngest years, like when I was my daughter's age, the older daughter, we were in like by Rutgers. And then after that, once I got a little bit older, like 5th grade and into like middle of high school, we were down by the Jersey Shore in Monmouth County. And then we moved like halfway through high school over to the west side of the state, like north of Philadelphia, like by an hour or so, maybe a little bit more than an hour. Basically, on the way, if you were driving from like New York, New Jersey to Hershey Park in Pennsylvania, or Sesame Street, like there was an amusement park, you would pass through that town. That was pretty much the only thing that it had going for it. That was in Hunterdon County, so that's mostly in the north or central part of the state. I know some people think there's no such thing as Central Jersey, but I'm like, are you kidding me? Of course there is. Anyway, yeah, that's where I'm from. Chris says, I can't use a drone to follow me on my runs because none of them can fly that slowly. I'm sure that's not true, Chris. Chris, you got a new picture over here, it looks like. Right? Yeah. New one. Looking good. Adrain also says Mach 4 versus A6 Nova Blast. Ooh, that's a good one. We'll have to do that soon. And then I'll probably do that. Well, yeah, I think I'll probably do that next week. Because next week I'll have to do tomorrow will be the Clifton video. Next week we'll do Mach 4 versus, do I do Mach 4 versus Clifton first, or do Mach 4 versus Nova Blast first? I'm thinking Mach 4 versus Nova Blast first. But I did Nova Blast versus Invincible. Was that just this week? I don't know. Time flies. Time is strange. So I feel like, we've already done a battle video with the Nova Blast. So maybe we need to get the Mach 4 and then the Clifton in. I'm not sure. Steven wants to know, what are my thoughts on the Nike Next Percent 2? Jordan Thomas today on Instagram posted one that's like white and like a seafoam, like a really like green, I think. I don't know, I'm colorblind. But it basically looked like just an all white Nike Next Percent 2. It looked really nice. Really nice. I'm like, oh, that one's pretty. But other than that, like, it's an interesting shoe. It's an interesting update, minor update and a humper update. I think it's probably a better shoe, but I'm probably not going to get it. I had a couple of Next Percents, like version 1. So like, I feel like I know the shoe and I don't have a huge desire to get another one. All right. Danielle says, hi, first time I check in. Awesome. Well, welcome. And she says, I'm in the last weeks of my Couch to 5K and I have no idea what to do after. What do you recommend as the next step? I was thinking about training for a 10K or a faster 5K. Yeah, I think that like that's both of those are really great things to think about. I think a lot of it's going to depend on kind of what your goals are for your 5K and how things go during the race. So like assuming things go really well, you might be like, wow, I got a really great time, but I feel like I could go much faster. Then I would say, sign up for another 5K in a couple weeks. Go for it. But if things go horribly, then you might be like, all right, let's do that again. Maybe not a full couch to 5K, like, round of that, but an abbreviated version of that. And we'll do another one in maybe like a month. Or if you're like, wow, this is great, I love it, let's do a 10K now. That's also a really good option. Or you could just, you right now, if you're doing your 5K now, that puts you in a great spot for the summer and just enjoy running for the summer. Maybe join a running group and just run with some other people. You could do that and just keep it loose, but just run, maybe look to increase like your number of runs per week by 1 day a week, one more day a week extra, and just see where it goes from there. But I love like the enthusiasm that you're like, well, after that, what race do I sign up for? Because I think that you're probably going to like it after you're done, and you're probably going to want to do more. So that, I think your head's in the right space. So good luck. Let us know. Please come back and let us know how the 5K goes. All right, let's do a couple more. And then I got some kids that are dying to go outside and enjoy some of this weather. All right. Jay's here. And he says, any advice on my running? When do I need to start longer runs for my first marathon in October? I run a half marathon every Saturday. I'm so tired. Should I try shorter runs now? Yeah, I think that, at some point soon, like in a couple of weeks, like the Chicago Marathon, like has like a 20-week training program. I think that they distribute. And I think that starts pretty soon. And so like, for me, that just seems crazy to start thinking about marathon training, especially if you're like running half marathons every Saturday. But if you're running half marathons every Saturday and that's making you so tired, I would say you probably don't need to start worrying about it until like August or middle of July, right? And then in the meantime, what I would do is just make sure you're running and having fun running and working on consistency and getting out there. If a half marathon every weekend is making you really, really tired, maybe 1 week, back off on that and have like, 2 8-mile runs over the weekend, right? So what are you doing on the Sunday is what I want to know, right? So maybe you get the same amount of mileage on the weekend, but maybe a little bit more by splitting it over 2 days. And so like the one thing that you're training by doing that is for your body to recover quickly. So like, that's why like I like recovery runs, is because it serves so many different functions. So that's something that I would think about, is in the meantime, just work on having a lot of fun with running. It doesn't have to be structured. Hop into a bunch of races if you want to do that over the summer. But just keep it loose and just kind of go with the flow while maintaining some level of consistency, right? Because this is all part of your marathon training. It's not structured, but it's part of the training, is to make sure you're just getting in miles, happy miles, if you can, and then once you get to like, however long your program is, if it's 14 weeks, 16 weeks, 20 weeks, if that's your thing, that means you have to kind of get a little bit serious sooner. But I generally find for a lot of those super long programs, like a 20-week program, what I've talked about is kind of what people are like mapping out as part of a plan. And people, I get it. Sometimes people are excited and they're like, I want to extend and magnify this Chicago Marathon or my marathon experience. And I want to have a 20-week program so I can think about it and prepare for it and enjoy it from 20 weeks out, and not just like, a crammed session right at the end and make it super stressful. So there's nothing wrong with longer plans, but I don't like them. But yeah, but make sure you're having fun for most of the summer. And then, in October, for October marathon, once you get to like August-ish, then you can start getting a little bit more structured. All right. I think we're going to leave it there for today, guys. Sorry, I'm leaving so many questions on the table. It's just, I got thrown off today with the technology problems at the beginning. But if there weren't technical problems, it wouldn't be one of my live streams, I guess. Thanks again for dealing with it. All right. Tomorrow's video going to be, I think it'll come out tomorrow. It might come out, I don't know. It might come out Sunday, but like hopefully it'll be tomorrow. The next video that I put out will be the Clifton 8 first run. And then we'll also do, you know what? Oh, big news. I can't do a live stream tomorrow. My sister's in town. So I'll be with her all day tomorrow. So no live stream tomorrow. So keep that in mind. I'll post a reminder tomorrow on YouTube, and I'll post one on Twitter too. Where is it? I'll put Twitter and Instagram. Do I put it everywhere? I'll put it everywhere. So no live stream tomorrow, guys. But whenever I'll post more detail. We'll do a live stream Sunday for sure. So I'll definitely at least see you guys by Sunday, and you'll have at least one video between now and then as well. All right. Sorry, I should have put that up at the front. I just got thrown off so much today. I'll get it together, guys. I need this weekend so bad, I guess, right? All right. Hopefully you guys have a good time too, a good weekend too. And in the meantime, till I see you again, be safe out there, everybody.